Hello, everyone! So today, we're going to take a look at the Age of the Primes, Aerialbots, Air Raid, and Slingshot. So I know Fireflight and Skydive have already been released, but I still haven't gotten them yet. We'll probably get them by next week. So I decided to make a video on these two because I just realized I haven't done a video on them yet, aside from the transformation video. So if you want to see how these guys are transformed, please take a look at the links down below. Now, let's start with the review. Of course, as always, we'll start with the box. Let's look at them simultaneously. They're pretty much similar standard Age of the Primes boxes. We have Air Raid and Slingshot in their robot modes and their jet modes. And I got this from Toys R Us. On the side, we have Superion. At the back, we have some poses of both of them and their jet mode. And of course, on the other side, it's the standard statues of the Primes. So that's pretty cool and standard. So let's get the boxes out of the way and let's take a look at the figures themselves. Both of them come with two accessories, two blasters. Slingshot comes with this two-barreled blaster, while Air Raid comes with this pretty basic blaster, two of them. So let's look at Air Raid first. So here he is up close, and I'll put up an image here of his G1 counterpart. So as you've seen there, his design is pretty much G1, pretty accurate to the show. The kibble on the back is pretty accurate, and from the front, this guy looks pretty awesome. And I have him in my hand right now. Let's take a closer look at him, and just the details are pretty awesome, pretty basic and simple, but it's pretty faithful to the representation. So, and also no hollow gaps here except for the forearms here. Because of transformation, his hand has to go there. But for the deluxe class figure, this is definitely a really good figure, and definitely also way better than this one. And while we have him here, I'll also look at the articulation right now. His head can move up, down, sideways. The shoulders can do the full 360, just maneuver away from the wings. There's a bicep swivel, elbow joint. Unfortunately, no wrist swivel. And unlike the Constructicons, they have, or Air Raid has, a waist swivel. So the legs can kick sidewards pretty much that far, forwards that far, and backwards this far. Thigh swivel, knee bend pretty much 90, and of course, an ankle pivot. Just really cool. So there we have Air Raid right there. And of course, let's have Slingshot next. And I'll put an image of his G1 counterpart here as well. And as you can see, it's pretty much accurate except for the Autobot insignia here on his left shoulder. And the fact that the wings are on the back of his legs. This is pretty inaccurate because on the G1 design, it's all in his back. And to be honest, this is the ugliest part about this guy. The wings are on the back of his legs, and it makes his legs look incredibly big and weird looking, and I'm not a fan of this. But everything else is pretty much accurate, the design. His face sculpt is awesome. We have the orange color here. His visor is very visible, and I like the cool look on him. Kind of suits him. Really cool. So yeah, here at the back, this is what it looks like from the back. And one more thing, his weapons can be put here on the side, but I guess this is because what do you call this, Macron's Prime can be equipped to this mold like a weaponizer, so that's pretty cool too. And now for articulation, the articulation is pretty similar to Air Raid. His head can look up and down, sidewards. Shoulders can move the full 360 to the side, right? That much. Bicep swivel. Elbow bend. There is an extra elbow bend. The elbow is double jointed because of transformation. And unfortunately, again, no waist or wrist swivel for Slingshot, but there is a waist swivel. His legs can kick sidewards pretty far, forwards that far, and backwards pretty much that far. Thigh swivel, knee bend, pretty much 90, and of course an ankle pivot. So one good thing about the enormous feet of Slingshot is that he is very sturdy, and I doubt he will fall off anyway once you post him upright. Well, similar to Air Raid, his feet are not as big as Slingshot, but they are pretty sturdy, and these guys are pretty much posable and really good to pose with. And I won't do any size comparisons because I don't really know who to compare them with. Well, here we have Silverbolt alongside them, so their size scaling is pretty much accurate because Silverbolt towers way above them. Here we have Combaticon. Oops, let me. Combaticon Vortex, which is the same type of combiner as Slingshot. I don't know if that's the right term, because right now I just Slingshot is part of the left arm of Superion. While I don't have Fireflight yet, I have put Vortex in as Superion's right arm, opposite of Slingshot. And for a general size comparison, here we have 86 Optimus Prime behind them. And wait, let me get Bumblebee. And here we have Bumblebee. So that's pretty much the scaling of Slingshot and Air Raid. They're pretty much standard deluxe size classes. So here we have Air Raid and Slingshot in their jet modes. I have the transformation video already uploaded. The links are down below in the description. So the transformation for these guys are pretty simple and basic, so it's not that difficult to do. And their jet modes are pretty clean. I like both of them in their jet mode. But let's take a closer look at Air Raid first, and I'll put up a picture of his G1 air mode or alt mode here. Sorry. So the jet mode looks pretty much accurate from this angle, but underneath it's pretty. To be honest, when I'm looking at it from the side, I'm not a big fan of it because you pretty much can't see his body. This is basically just a shell forming, or is that what it's called? Where basically it's just a shell covering up their entire body. I guess that's what it's called. But yeah, because underneath you can basically see his entire body right underneath. But on top, it's pretty clean. Just don't look underneath. And I like that the chest where the Autobot logo is becomes the wheel on his jet mode. Nice touch. And similar to the Seekers, their weapons can be stored underneath the wings so that they have weapons while in jet mode. Now let's look at Slingshot. Here is the picture of him from his G1 design. So it's pretty accurate as well. Now this is a cleaner version or a cleaner alt mode than Air Raid. In terms of robot mode, I really like Air Raid more than Slingshot, but in terms of jet mode, I like Slingshot more. Although his transformation is very basic, this transformation is one of the most simple transformation that I have in my collection, if I'm right. I'm looking at my collection right now, and yeah, I guess this is one of the simplest one, and it's really easy to do, and it's so fun though. It's something that you can show your kids or someone younger or your nephews and nieces, and they can pretty much do it on their own without your supervision. And it's a pretty good alt mode. The paint apps is really nice. Here everything is nice, and underneath it's pretty clean. So yeah, here is the jet mode for Air Raid and Slingshot. Here we have Vortex, just to pretty much compare sizes. So Vortex is pretty much longer than their jet modes, but size wise they're pretty much up to scale, I think. And of course, the leader of the Aerialbots, Silverbolt, is way bigger than both of them because he is just definitely bigger. So final thoughts on the Age of the Primes, Aerialbots, Air Raid, and Slingshot? Definitely a good start for the Combiner Superion, although I have already reviewed the Silverbolt one. These guys are a good start for, again, the Combiner Superion. They're pretty simple and faithful to their G1 representations in terms of their designs. Their transformation are simple and basic. Anyone can do it. Only knock on Slingshot or the legs. Again, the legs and the feet, they just look weird. For Air Raid, in terms of his alt mode, I just don't like the fact that he's basically shell forming. But aside from that, these guys are really cool figure and definitely worth the deluxe class price point. So there you go. Please like and subscribe, guys, if you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.